If you run a business in the UAE, here's a number that should get your attention. Two companies, same industry, same headcount of 100 employees. One of them pays 25,000 dirhams for 2 years of work permits. The other pays 345,000 dirhams. Same workforce, 14 times the cost. The difference isn't luck, it's classification. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how that system works, what drives your number up or down, and what you can do about it legally and practically. Most business owners think of labor compliance as a legal box to tick. It's not. In the UAE, since June 2022, MOHRE has linked your compliance record directly to what you pay for every work permit, every renewal, and every transfer. This is set out under Cabinet Resolution number 18 of 2022, alongside the ministerial resolutions that followed it. In plain terms, the better your compliance and workforce profile, the less you pay. The worse it is, the more you pay, sometimes dramatically more. So this isn't a side conversation for your PRO team. It's a finance conversation, and it belongs on the CFO's desk. Here's what we cover. First, the legal framework behind this system, so you understand what you're operating under. Second, the 3 MOHRE classification categories. Third, the real cost drivers, your workforce mix, amortization numbers, and WPS record. Fourth, the mistakes that push companies into the most expensive tier. And finally, practical strategies you can start applying this quarter to bring your costs down. Quick favor before we get into it. If you find this useful, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. This channel is built for founders and finance leaders. Before we get into strategy, you need to know the instruments this system is built on. Federal Decree Law number 33 of 2021 is the UAE labor law itself. Cabinet Resolution 18 of 2022 created the three-tier system, while Ministerial Resolutions 209 and 212 list specific violations and the actual fee schedule. Always verify the current position on the MOHRE Smart Portal before making a decision based on any figure I mentioned today. Since June 2022, every mainland private sector establishment in the UAE has been placed into one of three categories by MOHRE. Category 1 is the goal. Category 2 is the default tier where most compliant businesses sit. And Category 3 is the penalty tier reserved for specific violations. Your category isn't permanent. It's reassessed continuously, and it directly sets your work permit fee for every employee for the next 2 years. Category 1 is awarded to companies that actively contribute to national workforce priorities. There are 5 ways to qualify, and you only need one. Raise your emiratisation rate to 3 times the target, or partner with the NAFIS program to train 500 or more citizens a year. Other routes include being owned by a young Emirati entrepreneur or operating as a designated training and employment center in a priority sector. For most small and mid-sized companies, the realistic path is the Emiratization route, hiring 3 times your minimum quota instead of the bare minimum. Category 2 is the default tier, but it's split into 4 sub-tiers, 2A through 2D, based on your skilled worker ratio and nationality diversity. The higher your skilled worker ratio and diversity, the lower your fee. Your bill inside Category 2 can be nearly 4 times higher, even if you're fully compliant. Category 3 is the penalty tier, and it's expensive to enter and slow to exit. Specific violations like using workers without permits or fake emiratization trigger it. Once you're in Category 3, every permit costs 3,450 dirhams. No rebate, and you typically stay there for 3 months to 2 years. Your sub-tier depends on skilled staff counts. MOHRE maps roles to 9 levels. Levels 1 through 5 are treated as skilled, 6 through 9 are unskilled. But remember, a level 1 to 5 worker only counts as skilled if they have an attested post-secondary qualification and a basic salary of at least 4,000 dirhams. Let's put real numbers side by side. For a single 2-year work permit, Category 1 is a flat 250 dirhams. Category 2A starts around 500. Category 2D and Category 3 both climb as high as 3,450 dirhams. The gap between the best and worst outcome is enormous. Here's what that looks like at scale. Take a mid-sized company with 100 employees, 70 skilled, 30 unskilled, originally hired from outside the UAE. Over a 2-year cycle, that workforce costs roughly 25,000 dirhams in Category 1. In Category 2A, it's around 71,000. In Category 2D, it climbs to 243,000. And in Category 3, it reaches roughly 345,000 dirhams. Moving from Category 2D to Category 1 alone saves this business over 218,000 dirhams every 2 years for the exact same headcount. In practice, small mistakes account for most Category 3 demotions. Phantom emiratization is an instant trigger. So is late WPS or working on visit visas. Salary mismatches and submitting incorrect documentation, even by honest mistake, can trigger real damage. These issues require attention, not only honest intent. Hiring Emiratis isn't just a requirement, it's often the cheaper option. Missing a target carries a financial exposure of around 100,000 dirhams per year. On the other side, the Nafis program offers salary subsidies of roughly 5 to 8,000 dirhams a month, plus pension support for qualifying hires. For a company that needs 2 Emirati hires, the net cost of compliance is lower than the penalty for non-compliance. It's the financially smarter route. So what can you actually do? First, run WPS payroll on time every month. Second, look at your workforce mix to shift roles from unskilled to skilled. Third, complete attestations for qualified staff. Fourth, time renewals to fall after a tier upgrade. And 5, identify staff qualifying for the golden visa. Here's the starting sequence. In week 1, diagnose your classification. Over the next 2 weeks, run a workforce audit of your skilled and diversity ratios. By day 35, complete your Emiratization gap analysis. Between days 36 and 60, run attestations for staff who already qualified but aren't recorded correctly. By day 75, close your minimum Emiratization hiring. And in the final 2 weeks, confirm your new tier on the portal and submit renewals at the improved rate. Everything covered today is general guidance. Every establishment is different. Your license type and workforce composition change the right next step for you. Before restructuring or appealing, it's worth getting a review specific to your numbers. Always confirm the current position with MOHRE before you act. Let's bring it together. Your MOHRE classification isn't a formality. It's one of the biggest controllable costs in your business. Category 1 is a fraction of Category 3. The businesses that win here aren't the ones taking shortcuts, they understand the system. Clean WPS, real Emiratization, and disciplined renewal timing. If you have questions about your classification or renewal timing, we will be glad to look at your numbers. Reach out to us at info@acurionpower.com. Let's talk.